Are you ready for career success? Your Career podcast will help you to take control of your career. You can also find out your career success score by taking my 2-minute career success quiz. You'll get your results, analysis, and recommendations immediately. Go to janejacksoncoach.com/career success quiz. The link is in my show notes. Now, on with the show. Welcome to episode 237 of Your Career Podcast. I have a power duo with me today to discuss career reinvention and all things LinkedIn for business. With me are Adam Houlahan and Christie McCabe-Benton from Prominence Global, one of Australia's leading companies in harnessing the power of LinkedIn for business. Adam is an international keynote speaker specializing in LinkedIn strategies for entrepreneurs and CEO of one of the few truly global LinkedIn agencies, Prominence Global. He hosts arguably the world's largest free online LinkedIn training event with thousands of people registering 5 times a year. He's considered to be one of the world's leading experts in harnessing the power of LinkedIn for business. He's also the author of 3 Amazon best-selling books, Social Media Secret Sauce, The LinkedIn Playbook, and Influencer. And he's also co-authored a 4th international bestseller, Better Business, Better Life, Better World. He believes in real and meaningful change comes through world's entrepreneurs. His purpose is to positively impact 12 million people in need and has surpassed 8 million impacts on the way to that target. And Christie McCabe-Benton is the head of strategy at Prominence Global. She works alongside Adam to help entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, and business owners to create LinkedIn strategies that build prominence, authority, and valuable deep connections that also convert. Christie has 2 decades of experience in marketing, communications, sales, media, and education, working with a wide variety of clients on diverse projects. She's been the host of 2 breakfast radio shows in New South Wales and Western Australia, written and directed award-winning films, represented Australia and Samsung as a global blogger at the Olympic Games, and coached hundreds of people globally to leverage the power of LinkedIn for their business. Now you're in for a treat today because, like Adam, Christie believes real and meaningful change comes through the world's entrepreneurs. Her purpose? To build businesses with powerful tools to grow and accelerate their global footprint via LinkedIn. Together, we can make an important impact. And welcome to the show, Adam and Christie. It's lovely to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you, Jane.
Yeah, wonderful to be here again, Jane. I think it was like 7 years ago we did this, and I think we actually said let's do this again in a few months. But anyway, we got there in the end.
I know it took me a while, didn't it? I had every good intention, Adam, back in 2015, but it's amazing how quickly the years go by. And also, I've followed the growth of your business and now Prominence Global, and I'm so delighted that Christie is now on board as well with you. So how wonderful to have both of you, what a power duo, to discuss all things LinkedIn and Prominence Global. So as this podcast really is all about career transitions and how many people transition from corporate or something different into entrepreneurship or a new career. Both of you have had quite an interesting career journey. So how about, just to kick us off, can you tell us what your early career aspirations were, Christie, when you were a little girl?
When I was a little girl, so I've always been quite creative, and I remember when mum would pick me up from like kindergarten or something and primary school as well, and I'd go home and do lots of different plays and that sort of thing. So drama and acting was probably my forte.
Okay, so wanting to be an actress. That's
yes.
Good. What about you, Adam?
Yeah, I actually wanted to go into the Air Force and play with fighter planes, but
Such a boy.
which I think every young boy wants to do. But I actually got as far as going to all the entrance process, but only for them to say to me, we don't really think you're a good fit for this. You should find another career. So there you go.
I think every little boy wants to be Top Gun. And
Yes.
that movie, since we're talking about that, how good was the second Top Gun movie as well? Top Gun Maverick. I walked out of there and I wanted to be a fighter pilot too. So there you go. I can quite understand that. Now, in episode 20 of your career podcast, that's when I first interviewed you, Adam. And so if anyone would like to hear more about Adam's early career journey, it's all documented there, and also the transition into entrepreneurship too. But so now, when it comes to transitions, Christie, tell us a little bit about how your career has evolved, because now you are at Prominence Global doing some amazing things, and all of your videos on LinkedIn, giving lots of LinkedIn tips and advice, sitting on that couch, having a coffee. It's really inspiring. I love, and I look forward to your episodes every week as well. But let's hear your career journey.
I have had, as you would know, Jane, because we have done some coaching together, which I've absolutely loved. I have had a very eclectic career journey. So when I finished high school, I had a choice to either study psychology or do a film degree. I really wish I studied psychology, but anyway, I chose the film degree probably because that comes with my creative background. And so after my film degree, I sort of thought in Australia, it's a very challenging industry to get into. And also being a female 20 odd years ago, it was very difficult to climb that ladder. And I'm a very genuine person as well, Jane. So I wasn't going to suck up to anyone to sort of get a sort of leg up in the industry. So I got a solid backup plan, which was teaching. So I did a Bachelor of Education specialising in technology at Melbourne University after that. And then I kind of had about 6 years teaching, and including a stint or a year in London as the head of the media studies department there. But I obviously never wanted to be a real teacher. So it was always a backup plan. And I realised I should have followed my heart in the first place and actually follow what my passions were. And I could go through my plethora, or people could just have a look through my LinkedIn profile. But from teaching then, I realised that what I loved was the doing part of it and filmmaking. And I tried to find a way that I could still do all of my film and editing and interviewing people and sharing in people's stories. And so what I did as part of my teaching, I did part-time work for a drama academy. And within that, I actually did some radio advertisements. And I realised, I really love radio. And so I said to a friend, I'd be interested in doing some radio. And she said, well, there's this website that advertises for radio jobs. And so I went onto this website, and the first job posting was, do you want to start a career in radio? And I was like, well, yes, that's me. It spoke to me. And so, I applied for this job in Western Australia. Very stable career in teaching, but yet I put together this whole 20-minute demo using my skills in film. I had no idea about how to do radio, but I researched the company. I researched companies that were probably advertising on that radio station and created a whole demo tape. Anyway, long story short, Jane, because we don't have like hours to look at Christie's career history, but from teaching, I went into radio, promotions, marketing. Then I got a marketing director role within a manufacturing company, so trying to make underground pits sexy. And that was a really enjoyable career for some time. Then transitioned into working for a couple of universities in communications and media roles. So I've had a very eclectic career. And then I did have a stint for about 2 to 3 years being a LinkedIn consultant and strategist. But, and this probably leads into what I'm doing now with Adam. what I really loved about the role being a LinkedIn consultant was actually meeting with clients from all over the world and coming up with a great strategy for them to be in front of their ideal clients. And so, long story short, I wasn't happy in the role that I was currently in. I actually reached out to Adam and I said, hey, I've been following you for ages. I really love what you do. You wouldn't have any roles available, would you? And that's when he said, actually, we're looking for this person now. One thing led to another, and I was really fortunate to now be sitting alongside the man of LinkedIn. So it's very, very exciting. So long-winded answer, Jane, but got there in the end.
But a fascinating story, because it shows how really everything has come full circle, hasn't it, Christie? Because from your love of, drama and acting and wanting to be on the stage, I mean, there are so many different ways you can be on a stage. It can be virtual, it can be a real stage, it can be Shakespeare, it can be having coffees with Christie on LinkedIn as well.
That's exactly right. So, yeah. I mean, as I sort of said to you, kind of this is my dream role now, because I'm implementing all of, I think, a combination of many, many skills to do what I actually, hopefully, I do well, which Adam hopefully attests to as well.
We'll find out from Adam, won't we? So, but how interesting, Adam, when you met Christie, it must have been like, oh my goodness, she brings so much to the table and so much enthusiasm too, because I happen to know that Christie is also very good at networking in person as well as online. And that really, when it comes to professional networking, is what LinkedIn's all about. Now, for you, Adam, you've had an interesting career journey too, and the detail is in episode 20, but you wanted to create a lifestyle business, didn't you? After running several other businesses and focusing a lot on water sports and water skiing. So tell us about your transitions and how you actually were able to successfully navigate that.
Yeah, thanks, Jane. So exactly that. When I came back to Queensland, which is where I was originally from, I was very fortunate to work in some great companies where I actually spent all my days at the beach and taking people water skiing and around the water, and that was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. But of course, when you're young, they're great roles. But when you start to think about having families and things like that, you need something that probably generates a little bit more income than those type of roles. And so I eventually transitioned actually into my own business, as you know, in the water skiing industry. Loved that for many years, and then from there into the boating industry. From there, actually into running a business for some other people for a few years, which really that was the catalyst of where we are today. It was through the research I was doing with that company that sparked my original interest into social media, and then eventually into LinkedIn. And if people do go and listen to that episode 20, we talked about at that time it was very much around, it was a lifestyle business. It was just me and a couple of team members, and now we're kind of a 21 rock stars, including Christie, around the world, and a global client base, and a company brand that's globally known for what we do on LinkedIn. So it's kind of not that lifestyle business anymore. It's a not that there's anything wrong with lifestyle businesses. I'd still love to have one, but it just kind of went on its own trajectory, and it was pretty much hold on for the ride.
Yeah. And also, I mean, honestly, LinkedIn has just grown exponentially, because I remember I first joined LinkedIn in 2005. And what's interesting is, when you personalize your URL, I have one of the most common names in the world, Jane Jackson. I mean, how common can you get? And there are over 1,000 Jane Jacksons on LinkedIn now. But I was able to personalize my URL and get Jane Jackson. So that was good, getting in the early days as well. And so when did LinkedIn get on your radar, Adam? When did you realize, oh, this is a thing?
it was a bit of a journey on that, to be honest, Jane. It was on my radar right back, prior to 2015. However, at that time it was just kind of one of, we kind of were one of those one-stop shop agencies that we did sort of a little bit of everything. LinkedIn was always my personal passion within that, but we had, some people that did other things on other platforms. But I came to this realization not long after that we had that interview, and I came to this realization that the future of social media agencies were not going to be in these one-stop shops, because every platform was becoming so specialized, and the days of saying, my content strategy is like create this content and just put it out on all these platforms was rapidly diminishing, where each platform had to have a very specific sort of strategy around it. And so luckily I decided back then, which was around about late 2015, that we were no longer going to do anything else other than LinkedIn. And we rebranded, back then it was called Mentor to Success. And we became Prominence. In fact, we became Web Traffic That Works, and then we became Prominence Global. And ever since, we've been focusing on it. So it's a long-winded way of saying, I think, 2015 was really the catalyst where we became highly specialized within LinkedIn.
Yeah, that was so exciting. I'm glad that I got to interview you then, because that's actually when we met. We first met in 2014 when I went on this 40-week business incubator, and you were the social media, digital media specialist then, and you were talking all about building your profile, getting it out there on different platforms. And your book at the time was Social Media Secret Sauce. That was it, wasn't it? And that was really exciting. But now I think niching into one specialized area makes so much more sense when it comes to running your business, because then you become known for that one thing, and then you do it very, very well. Yes.
Exactly. That was the whole point of it. It was challenging at the time to walk away from all these people that were still interested in us helping them with other platforms, and saying no to that going forward we were only going to do this one thing. So of course we did go a little bit backwards to go forward, and that's always challenging in business, but turned out to be a good decision in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Oh, without a doubt. And especially when you target a corporate market as well, because over the years, LinkedIn has not only continued to be very good for job seekers and career transition, but it's become a fantastic B2B and B2C marketing platform too. And I know that's your area where you really help people to build their profiles for their businesses as well. And so now, working together, what's your role, Christie, at Prominence Global?
So I'm the head strategist here at Prominence Global. So my whole, and it just, I guess it suits sort of my passion and my skill set. So I'm responsible for, I suppose, that front end first engagement piece, where I'm meeting with all of the potential community members of our programs and aligning them with the best program for them that suits a strategy. And what Adam and I have done over the last couple of years is actually do a really deep dive into what conversion strategies work. So we base all of our decisions here at Prominence Global on data. So we're not just, pulling things out of the air, but we sort of got thousands of forms submitted into us 2 years ago. From those thousands of forms that were submitted, we then ran 300 campaigns across the globe, across industries, and our whole aim was to find a conversion strategy that would work for different industries. But as you would know, Jane, working with so many different industries, every business within an industry is quite different. But we were really happy to find that there are 4 what we call magic 4 conversion strategies that work on LinkedIn. And my whole job is to really dig deep into every person that I meet, sort of their business, their target market, what they're trying to achieve on LinkedIn, and aligning them with the best strategy and then the best program that can actually get them the results that they want. So it's all well and good having a great profile, and a great connection strategy and great content, but unless you're actually putting money in the bank at the end of the day, there's no real point in sort of spending your time. So we have the full Monty sort of service to help all of our clients, achieve success. And we're talking about, entrepreneurs, business coaches, consultants, anyone who's trying to really build their authority and prominence on LinkedIn. We can help them to do that. So I'm in that front end side of things in working out the best strategy for them. Yeah.
I think that's perfect for your skills and your personality, as well as, your values. And I think working with a values-based company such as Prominence Global, because, Adam, you are so dedicated, to helping the community as well, through the charity that you support. I always get it mixed up. It's B1G1, buy one, give one, right? Yes, that's right. And you've been doing that for years and years and years, and made such a difference all over the world as a result of it. So I think that makes a huge difference as well, as when it's like a heart-based business, as well as one that helps other businesses get their return on investment. And LinkedIn, I mean, it's a fantastic platform for that, because when you think about return on investment for businesses so that they can continue to grow, but also from my side of the story as a career coach, it's the job seekers' return on investment on their time, so that they're able to attract the opportunities that they desire and then land those roles as well. It's a very clever platform, and all of those new features that have come out as well. I'd love to know, both of you, what your opinion is on all of these incredible features that seem to be rolling out every week. There's something new and something different to learn as well. And that's where your webinars, Adam, are so helpful, because it really educates business owners on what to look out for and how to leverage it. Which ones are your favorite features that LinkedIn have rolled out over the past, let's say since COVID, since 2019, 2020, until now? There have been so many new features. Which are your favorites?
Yeah, that's a long timeline in LinkedIn terms these days. It changes. You mentioned the webinars we host, which are every 10 weeks, and even in 10 weeks, there's enough new features around for us to fill a whole webinar on topics. But I think, look, no doubt, my favorite up until in that period has been creator mode, and it's probably also one of the most heavily misunderstood features of LinkedIn. Because under creator mode is an overarching term for a whole bunch of new features that still keep rolling out, which are all designed around content. And of course, why is it a favorite? Because that's essentially what we do. And the more tools that LinkedIn give us to work with in that space is obviously beneficial. And it's definitely a work in progress. When it was first released, people were like, just misconstrued it, thinking that if they turned that on, magically all this visibility is going to appear on their content. Which, Jane, as you know, that's not the case. But if you really understand how it works, and really understand how to utilize the tools that sit under it, it is an incredibly dynamic and valuable feature that LinkedIn's released in the last, probably the last 12 months.
I love creator mode. I'm leveraging it like a crazy person. I love it so much. There's so much you can do with the newsletters and the events and the featured section. It really is fabulous. What about you, Christie? Which features do you like?
Adam stole mine. But I'll just add to why I really love creator mode, because it's funny how Adam and I probably think quite the same. I actually don't really like social media, and that's a weird thing to say, but I had to embrace social media. LinkedIn, I found, had really valuable educational content. The caliber of people that I can network with and connect with is so much different to, say, Facebook and all of those other, I don't even get TikTok, but maybe I'm showing my age there. But creator mode really rewards people who are delivering really valuable content for their network. So it's not just trying to trick the algorithm or anything like that. It's about rewarding those members who actually write content that suits their audience and that gets the engagement that they need, so that LinkedIn can say, oh, this person knows exactly their audience, this person knows how to write for their audience, and this person is then going to attract more members to the platform, which is a win-win for everybody. So that's why I love Creator Mode, because it's just encouraging more thought leadership and educational commentary rather than just like rubbish, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember years ago there was LinkedIn Pulse?
Yes.
And now, you know,
yes.
there are articles and there are newsletters. But when LinkedIn Pulse first came out, I went, oh, this is good, because you can write long form content
Yes.
and articles. And one of the things is, as you know, I love writing and I love sharing content. And my mission is to make careers guidance accessible to all. And so LinkedIn's a great platform to be able to provide a lot of free advice that, you know, people might not be ready to pay for coaching or pay for an entire program or something like that, but they're able to experience you and then slowly get to know you, like you, trust you through what you deliver to them. And it's like the long game. It's marketing, but if you're being authentic and genuine about it and you make real connections along the way, inevitably they end up becoming clients, and if not, they become friends, which is really nice. And something that I enjoy very much is being able to take the online connections offline and then continue to develop them that way. And I think that with all of the connections that you make through your webinars and different offerings, it helps people to get to know what Prominence Global is like, Adam, what you're like as well, and what you're like, Christie. And especially, you know, with your coffee chats that you have every Friday. And it looks so relaxed and you're just having a conversation. And that's how you develop a relationship, isn't it?
Very much so.
Yeah,
and you know, on the back of that, Jane, we actually wanted to do this in 2021, but clearly with everything that was going on, you know, in the world, we couldn't. But next year, we're actually doing a bit of a global roadshow. We're actually, as you said, we have this big following of people in all these online events we've been doing, but we never get to actually interact directly with those people. So we're actually now going, Christie and I are going around the world pretty much to multiple countries, and we're actually doing live events in the UK and the US and New Zealand and all across Australia, which we're really looking forward to. But from that, you know, that perspective of actually, you know, I guarantee the high majority of people that will come to those are people that have been to our online events over the last few years, and that ability to, you know, actually see people in real life and extend those relationships and friendships is well, I know for myself at least, and I'm sure Christie would agree that I think that's something we're looking forward to very much for next year.
That's going to make 2023 a very exciting year for not only Prominence Global and the two of you and your entire team as well, but also everyone on LinkedIn who'll be looking forward to seeing you in action. And just, I mean, how nice to be able to shake hands with people again and look them in the eye. And you know, one thing that I had to let go during my coaching sessions for a while, and you'll appreciate this, is because of COVID. You know, your branding and your physical presence and your body language is so important. And one of the things I used to talk about so much was, you know, how to shake hands well. And how to be warm and inviting and look people in the eye and smile and lean in. And then, of course, that all had to go out the window because of COVID. And then it was all, oh gosh, elbow bumps and all this sort of thing. I'm so glad that things are now back to normal. And I bet that you're both breathing a sigh of relief, thinking, oh yes, we can now get out there again, because there's nothing like the buzz of a live event, is there?
Not at all. And And yeah, it's very interesting you say that, Chrissy. I remember this real when the kind of we got out of lockdowns and things, and we actually could start to see people not so much in business events, but there was just that awkward. Is it the is the elbow? Is it sometimes you go in for a handshake and people would cringe and whatever, and now it seems that everyone's hopefully calmed down about that, and we can just get to have those wonderful interactions again.
Yes, and I'm a natural hugger. I can't help it. I'm such a hugger, and then so for a few years I haven't been able to do that. So if anyone was to see me in face to face, watch out, because you know what I'll be doing.
Oh,
That's
great.
for sure. And so now back to you, and what's in store for Prominence Global. What are the new things that besides the in-person events? What else for Prominence Global for 2023?
Well, we've actually got 16 events at this stage. So we've got the webinars that you're familiar with already. We've been doing some like online workshops this year. In fact, we had our last one for the year just yesterday. We're bringing those back again, and look, it's a constant evolution for us in that. As Christie will share, a lot of our time goes into research and making adjustments to what we do, because the platform adjusts, the way people interact on the platform adjusts. And so, yes, we're bringing out some new programs and things, which is a little bit early to talk about those just yet, but we've definitely got, apart from all the events, some really powerful new programs that will be helping people with all over the world to really leverage the power of LinkedIn, even to a greater degree than what we're doing today.
Well, I'm excited. And I know that you've got a very interesting quiz, haven't you? Like an assessment. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we've got two actually. The main one is it's called the LinkedIn Productivity Assessment. It's really designed to just give people a real insight as to how well they're doing on the platform right now. But it also, at the end of it, wherever you might have some weaknesses, it will share more resources with you based on the outcomes. And the feedback we've had since we launched it has been fantastic. So we actually launched another one which was just tailored to content. So if someone didn't want that overarching everything they need to do, they wanted to just focus in on their content, we created another assessment that would do just that. And we'd be more than happy to make those available for everyone to utilize it as they see fit. Totally free. There's nothing, no upsells or anything off the back of it. It's as you know, Jane, we like to give back as much as we possibly can to, like you do, to as many people as we can around the world, and these are a couple of the tools that we use to do that.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'll have the links in my show notes on Your Career Podcast on janejacksoncoach.com. However, are the URLs difficult to remember, or are they easy to remember if someone just wants to write them down right away while they're listening?
No, unfortunately, they probably are a little bit difficult for people to recall. So probably best to go to the show notes and grab them there.
Okay, all right. Well, definitely we'll do that. Now, before we go, and it's always lovely to catch up with you, and I promise we'll have another one, but it won't be 7 years before we do it. I think I'll be a bit long in the tooth in 7 years' time. But before we go, for both of you, I want one from each of you. What would be the one main thing that you would tell businesses to focus on when they're thinking about leveraging LinkedIn for their business success? Christie, you go first.
Well, probably contact Prominence Global and have a bit of a strategy session with me. That would be your first point of call. But just to get be really, really clear about your target market on LinkedIn. Be very clear about the sorts of content that you're sharing, and also your program offering. So you can't be wishy-washy in terms of like you have multiple things, you've got multiple audiences, you can just, service everybody, because by servicing everybody, you actually service nobody at all. So LinkedIn is an incredibly complex but powerful social media platform, and if done well, you can generate hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And a lot of the clients that we have worked with, we are fortunate that we can actually attest to generating, even multi-million-dollar deals for them through LinkedIn. But again, it takes time. There's no like hacks, which people have always asked me, "You've got any hacks on LinkedIn?" I'm like, no, you just need to actually dedicate some time and some intelligence to working on your strategy. Obviously, I'm biased, but it just comes down to strategy and knowing how to really use the platform well.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think the thing is that there's no quick fix for anything. It takes consistency, it takes determination, it takes drive. And too many people think, oh, I'm going to try this for 3 or 4 weeks and it's not working. That's it. Oh, it's a long game. This really needs to be consistent, because people might not need you today or next month or even in 2 or 3 months' time, but in 6 months' time or in a year's time, yes. So build that relationship. So that's wise words from Christie McCabe there. And what about you, Adam? What would you give as your top tip?
Very much along the lines of what you just said, Jane, is take a long-term view to what you're doing, and just show up, be there, be regular, so to speak, be the consistent, and and if you do take that long-term view, you kind of you're automatically change from becoming a marketer, which, let's face it, not too many people love marketers. However, if you just show up being helpful and solving problems for people consistently, you will build your revenue base for your business, but you'll also build a lot of brand advocates. Not every person that you interact with needs to become a client. What we find now with the web events that you were talking about earlier, when we release the sign up pages for that, people just automatically go to it and share it with their networks and say, you've got to come to these events. I've been to a number of them. They're amazing. So take a broad view of what your goals are, and a long-term version of that.
Fantastic. Wise words from both of you. Thank you so much. And I recommend that everyone go and follow Adam Houlahan if you haven't already followed him, and also follow Christie McCabe. You'll find them both very easily on LinkedIn because they're ubiquitous. Yes. So thank you so much, both of you, for coming on Your Career Podcast. I really appreciate it. It's always lovely to reconnect again as well. And good luck for 2023 and all those live events all over the world. It's an exciting time.
Thank you, Jane. It's wonderful to be here with you too.
Thank you so much, Jane. Lovely to chat.
Thanks for joining me today. For affordable career help, please check out my Career Success Program. I provide a unique blend of online and live career coaching to help you take control of every aspect of your career or career change. If you aren't where you want to be in your career, let's talk. Check it out at thecareersacademy.online. The links are in my show notes.